M. Night Shyamalan's latest movie, Knock at the Cabin, drops in theaters, and so here are my thoughts on it. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I talk about a bunch of movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share what you thought of Knock at the Cabin. I have more content like this over on my channel. With that said, let's just get straight into it, talking about the good. And to me, this one was distinctly not one of M. Night Shyamalan's best movies like The Sixth Sense, but it's also not one of his worst or embarrassing movies either. I think it's just solid, mid-tier M. Night Shyamalan work, and I think it did that pretty well. And the movie basically has a straightforward, standard, simple story about what would you do if you were put in this very desperate situation, people broke into the place you were in, and tried telling you that you need to sacrifice one member of your family in order to save the apocalypse. That's the simple story.
The four of us are here to prevent the apocalypse. If you fail to choose, the world will end.
And it executes it rather well. And there's just enough of M. Night Shyamalan's little style and flair when it comes to the way he tells his stories, the way he does his movies, that it's just so you can have some fun with this premise. And on that side, it is also a thriller, and so it also offers some edge of your seat thrills where tension builds up and you're wondering what the characters are going to do to overcome their challenges, what decisions that they will make throughout the course of the film. And that's just something really cool, is that in some of his movies, in most of his movies, you're trying to piece everything together, and this movie also does that as well. And M. Night Shyamalan hasn't had the greatest track record for the past few years, and this movie, it's pretty solid, and I wasn't expecting that because he put out Old a couple of years ago. I didn't think that was very good, and he just did a bunch of other poorly received movies before that in the past decade. And maybe this one is solid, probably because he's adapting a book called The Cabin at the End of the World, which I have read, and I have had it, and I can see that because he's translating a book into live action, I think that benefits the movie rather well. And on some aspects, I think, I won't go too much into comparison book versus movie, but I like this movie more than I like the book that it's based off of, because it changes just enough things, the movie changes just enough things in order to be fresh and new, and that's what I really didn't expect from this movie, was that I liked it more than I did with the book. Another thing this movie has to offer, some great performances. Of course you have, like, Dave Bautista as one of these intruders, who I thought was a lot of fun in the role. He's not necessarily a lot of fun, but Dave Bautista does a great job at portraying basically the leader of these intruders here. You have the other intruders also, I think, work rather well. What's a lot of fun is that you have Ron from Harry Potter in this movie, and there's just some great little performances in here. It has interesting ideas about what would you do in this situation, like I said, and it's just interesting enough, just new enough, different enough, that it does it pretty well, and it's a nice little effective mystery thriller. But mainly the reason why I like this movie more than I like the book, or why it's solider than other M. Night Shyamalan movies, is that I just think that it's just more satisfying than the book. Like, I won't spoil anything, but I will just say that I think this movie's ending is a bit more satisfying than the book it's based off of's ending. Like I said, just enough changes from the book to the movie to make it fresh enough. And so in general, I just thought this was a solid movie. It's an entertaining thriller/mystery that keeps you on the edge of your seat and trying to piece everything together. From there, let's move on to the bad. And I do have a few problems with this film. First one up here, it is sort of one note. It sort of hits the same beat over and over again for the majority of its runtime. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but it has the same beat. Like, they keep asking them, will you guys make a choice? Will you guys make a choice? Will you guys make a choice? Throughout the entire movie about who to sacrifice. And so, it kind of hits that same beat for its 100-minute runtime. Also, second one up here, I don't think it's as emotional or has enough suspense or feeling as maybe there should be. What I'm saying is it should be more suspenseful than it actually is. Should be more emotional what happens at the end than it actually is. You should be able to feel the setup payoff, but then it's not as well done as you maybe expect it to be. And final one here, it just feels slow. The movie itself is not slow. I don't know if this is just me, but it just felt a little bit slow to me, even though it's actually quite fast-paced. At the very beginning, they get straight to the point, and then we move on into this home invasion. That's the very beginning of the movie. Get straight to the point. It's pretty fast-paced because of that, but for whatever reason, it felt slow. And I think it all goes back to, like, my first problem where it's just one note, it's the same beat. It felt a little bit repetitive. I guess that's why it felt slow, but in general, a solid mystery thriller. I think I'll go a B on this one. If you enjoy M. Night Shyamalan's movies, go watch this movie. And if you've read the book, The Cabin at the End of the World, you should go watch this movie, see how it compares to the book. I like the movie better than the book. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Down below in the comment section, share what you thought of Knock at the Cabin. Over on my channel, check out my other reviews I have over there. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I will see you in the next one.